So let's talk about a couple of things in this marketplace right now. I want to talk about something for buyers. I want to talk about something for sellers, and I want to talk about something for my real estate fam. So we're going to start off with my real estate fam. Listen, everybody knows it's a tougher market than it's been, and it's a tougher market just because there's a lot of confusion out there. A lot of confusion, not just with the consumer, but with what's going on politically and everything else. I mean, we get job report numbers one week that says that the job report that their jobs have been added and everything is fine. And then the same week, we'll find out that Amazon's laying off 20,000, Microsoft 20,000, UPS 20,000. I don't know about you, that doesn't sound like great to me. Then we go to the grocery store, we go to the gas station, we go to other areas, and we're seeing increasing costs, right? So we're seeing those things. Well, the consumer is seeing those things as well. So the consumer wants to buy, wants to sell real estate, but they're also scared. So what our job as agents is to provide enough information so that the consumer feels comfortable in making a decision or not. Because sometimes the best thing for the consumer is not to make a decision yet. But we have to be able to provide them with the information so they make a great decision, right? Sellers. Sellers. I got one gripe with you guys right now. Well, just one, really. I get it. You got a 2.8 and 3.5 interest rate. And what you'll say to me is, I'm never going to sell my home or do anything because of the interest rate. I'm never going to get an interest rate like that again. That may be true. And if you do not have somewhere or something going on which requires you to move, then you're absolutely right. Here's my gripe. Here's my problem. Would you keep a 2.8% interest rate between, say, you watching your grandchildren grow? Would you take a 2.8% interest rate in keeping you from taking this other job in another area that's going to pay you $100,000 more, or that's just going to make you happier than where you're at, or going to secure something for your family? The 2.8% interest rate and all that is great, but that should not be the struggle point of your life. If you have other things that you want to accomplish, need to accomplish, to do, and I'm not even talking about people that are in distress, people that are in a hard time, but I'm talking about, I got this 2.8% interest rate, so I'm not going to do anything with it, and I'm going to miss out on some opportunities and some things in life. I'm not going to travel. I'm not going to downsize and have some money in the bank and help my kids. I'm not going to do certain things that, to be perfectly honest with you, when you take the fact out that it's 2.8%, are really no-brainers. I mean, they're really no-brainers. So please keep in mind, now, I am 100% behind you, seller, if you have no reason to move. If you have no reason to move, why would you leave a comfortable payment in a home that you're comfortable in to go to a 6% interest rate and pay more money for a property that's not going to necessarily make you feel better or be more productive for you and your lifestyle? But don't get caught up on the 2.8% interest rate, because I'm never going to leave because of that. Yeah, I wouldn't let that get in the way. If it was up to me selling my house and I had to get rid of a 2.8% interest rate, even if I had to go rent, and it meant me able to be closer to my grandchildren and help my kids, I'm done. That's a no-brainer. We'll just talk about the 2.8 in memory. Buyers. You guys are the same things, man. You're the same thing. Listen, if you're buying a property, you're considering buying a property right now, what you need to be figuring out is, can you afford it? Now, you may not be able to afford exactly where you want. You may not be able to afford exactly what you want. But is you purchasing a piece of property better than you renting? Now, yes, I will tell you in some cases, for some people, depending upon their lifestyle, what they're doing, their work, renting is obviously something you have to be ashamed of, and it's an option. But I'm going to tell you, especially if you've been in and out of the marketplace talking about buying for the last 4 or 5 years or whatever, you're sitting around waiting for 2.8% interest rate before you decide to purchase. How much equity have you missed out on? How much equity have you missed out on? Meaning that house that you could have bought for 500 is now 700, and the interest rate ain't no cheaper. And if it is 2.8%, the payment ain't no cheaper. So what are you waiting on? Listen, what you have to do, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, in my opinion, my humblest of opinion, is look at your circumstances, your situation, decide what's most important to you, figure out if you can afford it, and get in the market. Because one thing I will tell you, after doing this as long as I've been doing it, there's a very strong possibility that more than likely the home you purchase for the first time is not necessarily the one that you're only going to have your whole life. You'll have other opportunities to move up. You'll have other life-changing type things where you'll need to move. You'll need to change locations. But getting in and starting to get some equity built up will help you make those other moves. All right, off my soapbox. Buyers, sellers, and agents. Hopefully I gave each of you a nugget tonight. Take care and God bless.